Hey folks, welcome back to another battle report. This is the third game of the Dice and Dagger DBA tournament that I ran, and this is the first half of the second game. I'm the defender on this one. Terrain is as you see it. The plough don't come into play. I just leave them there just so the board isn't so boring. And my opponent this time is Syracuse. So a quick look through the Syracusan army. These models, I believe, are all chariot miniatures, which is from Magister Militum. So yeah, they have it's going right to left, a cav general, and spear. And then we have more spear, and then a artillery piece, which is ballista, more spear again. I believe behind the spear is a fast warband, and then light horse, and on the far end a Siloy. Yeah, from here and just in behind there you can just see the warband hiding in behind the two ranks of spear there. So I just start making my way forward. My opponent also pushes up his advance. In my turn I start pushing my flank out. Basically, if he's going to bring his cavalry down by themselves, his general will be on his own. I have a light horse advantage on the right flank there. So I've got a cav, my general, and just out of the shot there is my light horse. And if needs be to help my flank of my cavalry, I can always add this silo in as I go forward. My opponent's in that, reforms his line, so he's back to have his spearmen in line with the rest of his troops. The only downside he's got at the moment, he's got quite a big gap in the centre there where he now leaves his artillery behind, and he'll start firing basically on my spearmen from memory. So with him reforming the line, I'm also going to reform the line as well. I believe I should have the advantage if I want to go in. He's got the gap in the middle there. I could take advantage to get the overlaps, while my line is extended further, so I also get overlap against his cavalry. In my opponent's turn, he decides to push forward on this flank with his two spearmen and warband. As you can see there, my spearmen have been pushed back. The supporting one hasn't been pushed back due to the combat. He's being fired upon by the artillery piece. My Siloy down here, who was on the flank of my spearmen, have fled. So this is how things are looking at the end of my opponent's turn. I didn't get enough pips to move my entire line up. I'm not sure if I'm quite in range with my infantry anyway, and since my left-hand spearmen are being pushed back, I decided I didn't want to split my spearmen up. So I took a bit of a risk here and drove my cavalry straight at his cavalry using my Siloy to protect my flank. And I'm hoping if I can just hold there for a turn, I might be able to sweep round and flank him with my light horse there and get some quick kills off. As it happened, although my Siloy had to flee from the spearmen and his general recalled my cavalry, my actual general got in there and slew the cavalry, so that's ideal. That's one element to me at the moment. Again, my opponent moved up in his turn. His artillery piece had another shot at my infantry, driving them back further, while his spearmen went against my spearmen, who weren't supported and actually beat him back, so he's been driven back there. So here, all I did on the left-hand side, I've moved my Siloy back to do some skirmishing with those spearmen, just to help my flank there. And then I threw my cavalry against his general, and I swung my general round to engage his flank. Since the turning's done at the end of the combat, at the end of the movement, he won't be needed to be turning around to face my general, which is a shame because I could have done with the extra tactical factor. And again, I put my Silo just so I didn't get the outflanking against my cavalry, remaining me a 3 against a 3, but I've got a quick kill bonus. And also on the top hand side there, you can see my light horse just darting around to try and take on the camp. Here you can see my cavalry going in and my general flanking. And that definitely paid off. I managed to kill his general. Again, my Silo had to flee. And I think that was all that was happening fighting-wise. But that's a big deal now, because his general also counts as 2 elements. That's 3 elements to me at the moment. And also, because he's lost his general, each command now will cost 2 pips instead of 1. So it's going to be very hard to command his troops. Though he did manage to roll up for 6 pips and retreated his spear line there to protect his artillery piece from my incoming cavalry in general, and decided to push forwards with the spearmen against my spearmen as well. Playing for the hope just to push one of them back to give me a tactical advantage from the other one. Unfortunately, he lost the combat and was pushed back. This meant the remaining spearman was a 4, and he was flanked twice, so he was down to a 2 against my spear, which is a 4 with flank support up to a 5. So 5 to 2, and I managed to kill off the spearman. So with that spearman, the cavalry, and the general, that was the 4 elements I need to win. That's how the battlefield was looking after the end of the game. So next up, I'll be attacking the Syracusians, and I'll see you for that one. Farewell.